Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight, Monday, November 6th, 2017, from Manchester, England. Continuation of Raw's and WWE specifically, UK tour into a Europe. So, we headed down the World Survivor Series tonight. We have, it was an easy little Raw tonight. Yeah, some good matches in there. Yes, we had a little bit too many screwy endings for my liking, but they were screwy endings with a purpose, including our main event. Which you see by the subtitle, we have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is we have new Raw Tag Team Champions that robs us of a match we were kind of looking forward to in the Survivor Series. But the good news is it could lead to something we weren't expecting at all to happen in Survivor Series. A match involving two factions we didn't think would face off against each other. Plus, we found out the full list of the men's Survivor Series team, and the majority released 95% of the Raw women's team for the traditional Survivor Series matches. Plus, we had an invasion from, like I said, an invasion that led to new champs, and a Bruiserweight invasion, leading to a UK division invitation to a show tomorrow night, which I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully the crowd's not dead after SmackDown for 205 Live. But it seems that I don't make an Attack Sports anymore. I don't make like an Attack Sports video to talk wrestling stuff. So I save some of the wrestling news and my reactions to some wrestling news on my Raw reviews. So I'm sorry if I do that, but I don't make an Attack Sports anymore, so because I'm kind of boycotting football, mostly making wrestling stuff. So I'm wearing my Jericho shirt because, yes, although the Survivor Series is building up, they're being overshadowed by the news of Wrestle Kingdom 12 with Jericho against Omega being announced. Now, there's a little Twitter feud going on, and I read some of the tweets. They were vicious. You know, Kenny getting called overrated by Jericho, and Young Bucks getting involved too. I think a lot of people thinking these two were going to face up at the Jericho cruise he's doing with Ring of Honor superstars doing it, because I heard Jericho try to ask NXT to be on the cruise, but they said no. So he got Ring of Honor instead. But it's even better than that. The Jericho Omega match is going to be at Wrestle Kingdom 12. It's already an epic card to begin with. Okada Naito. You got Ibushi against Cody for the Ring of Honor title announced today. Young Bucks against Tempura Boys. And a few others. So I can't wait to see Omega and Jericho. That match no one thought you'd ever see two of the best Canadians going. I love both guys, but I only have a Jericho shirt. Because I have Young Bucks shirt and Villain, but I don't have an Omega shirt to wear. And they're both my faves. So I don't know who to cheer for. Maybe Jericho because I know him longer. Play the Rock Hogan card. Cheer Hogan more because I knew Hogan more than Rock. Or longer. But let's talk about WWE. Back to WWE. And we're opening with The Miz and Miz TV. A Southern Miz. Talking about what happened to him last week with the return of Braun Strowman popping out of that trash can. Some very selective editing. Good editing though. And beat the crap out of Miz and Miz Taraj, specifically Curtis Axel getting 4 power slams, including one through a table. He was selling his injuries with a neck brace. But while Miz had a little bit of focus on Braun Strowman, he had also focused on his match at Survivor Series, as he'll be taking on Baron Corbin, U.S. champ against IC champ. These two was talking a little smack on Twitter, speaking on Twitter wars, with Baron talking about Miz's wife and Miz having a vicious promo on Baron. And he wound them down again on this promo, saying that Baron Corbin, you can take a little reprieve from being the bathroom break on SmackDown. No. That's Jinder Mahal. He's the bathroom break. Anywho, he was talking about Corbin, not talking about his wife again. Even say about Corbin saying that he'll make men say, "Who's your daddy?" And UK crowd, who was good again tonight, started chanting, "Who's your daddy?" So he was ready for Corbin. But till then, he was going to introduce his special guest for Miz TV, the Raw team captain and the general manager, Kurt Angle. Of course, he's captain of the Men's Survivor Series team. Came out these two have a little bit of issues. You know, Miz thinking that Angle has it out for him, making him defend his title. And, of course, blaming Angle for the SmackDown invasion, Stephanie talking shit about him, and even blaming Kurt Angle for being somewhat involved in Kane chokeslamming Daniel Bryan last week when Daniel Bryan came on Raw. Kurt did try to call Daniel Bryan saying he was not involved in Kane. Kane did it on his own accord. He was trying to apologize to D, but he tried calling him throughout the evening and got left voicemail. So then, Miz was talking about how would you let Braun Strowman beat the crap out of me? You know what I mean? You're incompetent, blah, 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 blah. They have a little smack of words. Angle's trying to apologize not just for whatever they brought, but also what happened to Mr. Lodge. Especially because Axel got him, because Axel chant again with the neck brace. And Miz was kind of complaining about, you let Strowman beat the crap out of me, then you name him the first guy of the Survivor Series team for Raw. And Angle was like, well, Braun Strowman told me that he would be on Team Raw on one condition. He gets a match tonight against you. Non-title, sadly. But we see a title match eventually, especially with the ending. And it got to be intriguing more. Angle was talking about how he's going to destroy SmackDown and even call SmackDown the B show. Yet he was one of the big reasons SmackDown was relevant during the brand split. The first time he was Mr. SmackDown. He was a SmackDown champ at one point. And he had some of his greatest success on SmackDown. So it's kind of weird. I know it's kind of like selling the fact he's on Raw now. As the Raw GM, trying to talk down to SmackDown because he's probably forced to make Raw look more relevant. But probably in Kurt's heart, off screen, he probably feels that SmackDown is the A show. He was on that show during the first brand split. So while Miz waits to probably get killed by Braun Strowman, we're going to have our first match of the evening. A match that everyone groaned about when it was named on the internet earlier in the weekend. A guitar on a pole match. Stemming from the recent activities between these two guys, Elias against Jason Jordan. It was weird seeing Elias, A, without his headset on, and without a guitar. His guitar was hanging up on a pole, so he was doing a cappella singing tonight, making fun of Manchester, and making fun of Jason Jordan a little bit until Jordan came out, interrupted him yet again, and beat the crap out of him. And they're trying to push Jordan. Well, he's already getting mixed reception, and you know it's a bad reception when Elias, a guy who just made fun of Manchester, gets cheered and chanted more than Jason Jordan does. It was a okay little match. Here, the match was just okay. Crowd was not into it. They were chanting for Elias and booing Jordan. Last time was a big move, and then Jordan came back, some suplexes and all that. But it's kind of weird with these gimmicky matches, especially these thing on a pole matches. They're always not the best matches because they always go for the pole a lot. You know, go for whatever objects on the pole, whether it's a candlestick or in this case, a guitar. Jeff Jarrett called. He wants his gimmick back. His guitar back. And he's going to rehab and left TNA again because of his problems. But anywho, eventually after they brought a little bit and jockeying over who was going to get to the guitar first, Jordan won the victory to get the guitar and used it. Because the stip was the first person to grab the guitar and use it would win. Unlike some gimmicky matches where it's like, you grab the weapon, but you don't win when you nail it. You have to pin somebody. Like what happened to Candlestick on a pole match with Bliss and Bayley. It wasn't the first person to touch it and hit your opponent with it wins. It was just grab it and hit it and pin somebody. It's kind of like Weird Wars, but at least this match, first person to use the weapon actually wins. And that's exactly what happened. It was kind of weird to see Jordan win. They're trying to push him, especially after this news later on that Kurt Angle would name him to the Raw Survivor Series team. Now, I like Jason Jordan when he was in American Alpha, but, you know, it's kind of a slow build for him. You know, the crowd's not into him yet. Hey, some of the best guys take a long time to get built. Look what happened to Rock. You know, Rock didn't have instant success. He was this sugar-coated babyface, but once he became himself, the rest is history. They're gonna let Jordan become himself. Fuck the Angle son thing. Fuck that storyline. It's dead in the water. They didn't have anything sufficient to follow it up with and keep momentum up. That's why Jordan's getting bad reaction. He could be a breakout star on the team, but it could do nothing because of his bad booking. Now, a lot of speculation about why Jordan is on the team. About him replacing Roman Reigns, who many expected to be on Team Raw. But because of his health issues and not being cleared for the European tour, and rumors were flying about him not getting cleared in time for a Survivor Series, led WWE to do a plan B to have Jason Jordan replace Roman. But by the end of the night, we may know Roman might be a part of Survivor Series. They're all advertising it for next week, but might be in a match that no one expected. Might be better than some people were thinking. A match they were supposed to get. But speaking of Survivor Series teams, we need some more women on the team. We started all with only 2 women on the women's team, with the SmackDown women's team complete. With Team Becky, the captain, Carmella, Tamina, Charlotte, and Naomi. It was only team captain on Raw, Foxy, and Nia Jax, named before the start of Raw. So Asuka would come in, beat the crap out of Stacey Coates, in another squash match a la last week, the way she should have been booked against Emma. But maybe they wanted Emma to look good because they were going to release her and just give her some false hope. So after Asuka's lopsided victory over Stacey Coates with a couple big strikes and an Asuka lock, Alicia Fox, I do like the crazy little captain thing she's got on. You know, it's kind of like the weird decision. And Nia Jax could have been captain if she didn't walk out, but she came back anyway. And even Foxy declared that Asuka would be the next member of Team Raw. Now, it's kind of a double-edged sword because Asuka can't really get pinned here. She can't have her first televised loss and first loss overall in a traditional Survivor Series match. So they're probably going to either let her be one of the survivors, or if SmackDown wins, they could let her get a screwy elimination, like a countdown or something. But that's what could happen. Or DQ. Like, strike so hard it won't break after the count of 5 or something. That's what could happen. So these say Asuka's on the card, but they're probably going to eliminate her in a screwy way to save her undefeated streak. So now on to our next scheduled match. The keyword is scheduled. We were about to see Samoa Joe, who returned last week, to take on Titus O'Neil, stemming from Samoa Joe beating down Apollo Crews last week in a match, and then beating up Titus later, putting him in the coquina clutch. So Taz and Apollo about to make their way to the ring, but all of a sudden Joe came up from behind on the ramp, laid them both out, including Titus with the coquina clutch on the ramp. So I was like, okay. So O'Neil's out before the match even begins. Joe's not going to have a match, but he actually does. It works out. Finn Balor. At least we're not getting the Sister Abigail resuming as of yet, because Bray Wyatt is back, but he's not on TV yet. But we're not seeing him since then. At least for a little bit. Just like these two feud, especially after the way they fought tonight and the way the match ended, leaving us wanting more. Good match with these guys. They have a little bit of history of NXT. And this was a great outing. You know, the ending here is a screwy ending with a purpose. Both guys duked it out. They had a great brawl on the outside. But despite Joe's best efforts to lay out Balor, he looked good early with some big dominant moves, including a couple of attempts at the coquina clutch. But Balor went all of it with his big moves, a sling blade, a drop kick, even going for a coup de grace at one point. And Joe rolled out. He did do like a standing coup de grace later on, but then these guys were just brawling, ended up on the outside, following the coquina clutch attempt, like I mentioned, that Balor went out of. It bounded a big splash, and they were both brawling the outside, because I was thinking to myself, how are we going to book this match? Both guys can't afford to lose right now. Balor already lost to Kane a few weeks back, so he can't afford another loss. And Joe just came back, so they can't afford to lose. So I was like, we could have a screwy ending with a purpose. I thought Kane was going to come out. Thankfully, he did not. But we still, like I said, a screwy ending with a double countout. But the brawl was still on. The referees were trying to break out. Even Kurt Angle came out. But Angle was like, I love this energy out of you guys battling each other. Save all that fighting energy towards SmackDown because you guys are now on my team. So Team Raw is complete. It'll be Team Raw against Team Shane. Team SmackDown. That's what it is. Team Angle against Team Shane. So Team Angle will be Kurt Angle, his son, Jordan, along with Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and the Beast enemy, the enemy of the Beast, the Monster Monk Man, Braun Strowman, taking on Shane McMahon, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and one of the best Survivor Series people, one of the best people in traditional Survivor Series matches, the one who's been like the sole survivor the most, including the sole survivor of last year's men's Survivor Series match with Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. The fifth man is to be determined. It was supposed to be determined by a match on SmackDown with AJ Styles and Rusev. But they made a last-minute match between AJ and Jinder Mahal, despite the fact they had already announced Rusev and AJ. This could be for two reasons why they're doing AJ and Jinder Mahal. For ratings, they're losing ratings, but hey, World Series ain't on this week, so they could get some good ratings. But may lose because this is a taped week. SmackDown and Raw are taped this week because of the time difference. But another reason this could be, AJ could beat Jinder and have AJ against Lesnar at Survivor Series. Now, that could be a good match, but you need minimum build because you've been building towards Lesnar and Jinder. But if AJ can come in with 3 days' notice against Finn Balor and put on a good match with no build whatsoever, only 3 days' notice, you're going to have AJ get a match against Lesnar and have that build in a week instead of a good match out of it with minimal build, like what AJ did with Finn Balor. But we'll see what direction they'll do. You'll see by the result. Either they're doing it for ratings, and that's when Raw will finally retaliate on SmackDown Invading, especially after what happened tonight. And if it is the title change, we'll see it. But I think it could lead to a screwy ending with Raw Invading. They'll finally retaliate for SmackDown's Invading the last couple weeks. So I mentioned the men's team has been set. The women still need some building. Who is going to join? Foxy, Nia, and the newly added Asuka. We're going to see as the two I mentioned, Nia and Alicia, will team up against Sasha and Bayley. The reaction in UK, they're beloved, but the reaction, it's a sign of the reaction of the booking lately. Shitty. And waiting for Sasha to finally pull a trigger and turn heel. We saw more signs of it tonight during the interview and during the match. We did see the Bayley chant. UK loves the chant, the hey, Bayley, ooh, I want to know, we be mine up, but not as loud as usual. Not as dominant as usual. It was a okay little match. It was what it was. Alicia Fox trying to prove her worth as the team captain over so many others. You know what I mean? She probably just got it, like I said, just because Nia Jax walked out. And it was interesting to see Nia in a match against Sasha. The reason why Nia walked down in the first place. I was like, is she going to eat another pin to Sasha? No. After a little isolation of Bayley from both Nia and Alicia, Bayley got the hot tag. Sasha did a double knees. But as Sasha was taking out Alicia, Nia come in. Got taken out by Bayley with the sleeper. They both went over the top with Sasha helping Bayley get Nia up the top. And Foxy was going for something. But then Banks would counter it into the... actually, Sasha was getting pinned by Alicia, coming up that distraction of the Bayley Nia over the top rope. But that's when Sasha turns into the Banks statement. And Alicia Fox, the team captain of Raw, tapped out yet again. Despite having differences and being somewhat enemies right now, Alicia Fox cannot deny that Sasha is a great asset to Team Raw for the women's team. So Sasha got added, but Bayley got left out. could once again plant the seeds for the heel turn that Sasha picked over Bayley. So we shall see if Bayley does get added, or it's gonna be like a wah-wah pick, like a Dana Brooke, or I wouldn't mind Mickey James being in there for a veteran. She's getting a little push lately with a few with Blissy. Too many only sign of Bliss we saw was a backstage segment later on in the evening, talking about her match against Natalya. The only time we saw the night. So it's kind of a stupid way to do it with that. But we did see one champion action. Being non-title, obviously. It was The Miz against Braun Strowman. Now, I was like, how are we going to book this match? Both guys can afford a pin, especially if it is a non-title match. And Braun was on the one early, chasing Miz, because Miz kept wanting him. Didn't want to get his hands on Braun. Didn't want Braun's hands over him. With his broken down and nervous Miz Slides at ringside, Miz tried his best to try to overcome the odds. But he got his ass kicked by Strowman. Beat up Miz, launched him against the ring post. And he just destroyed the Miz, including a little backbreaker move that was kind of cool. But Miz laid out. The Miz tried to get involved. And Braun took them both out. First with a nasty right-hand to Bulldog's. Holy shit, that was a stiff right-hand he delivered him. And then despite the neck brace, he took out Curtis Axel yet again. Nailing against the toss him against the back, and that was nasty too. Saying Miz can't hide. He cornered Miz in the ring with the Miz watch taken out, but then Kane's music hits. We've been seeing them trying to build up Kane for the last few weeks, taking out everybody, including pinning Finn Balor, which should have been ate by Apollo Crews or somebody else. So Braun was like, they were staring down, and Braun was like, you didn't kill me, Kane. You can't kill me. I'm the only monster of war. And then they pulled. And Strowman delivered a power slam to Kane, but then Kane set right back up from that. Because I thought, after Strowman took it up with a power slam, okay, they're trying to build Kane up to be a viable threat to Strowman, yet he ate a power slam. But then he got up and was like, okay. So then Strowman takes him out on the clothesline, him over the top rope, and Kane got back on his feet at that clothesline. But then Miz and the Miz spots came back in, specifically Miz and Bo Dallas beating up on Strowman. But they both got taken out again before Miz got laid out by a power slam by Strowman. So there you go. We had a screwy ending with Kane coming in, causing a DQ, Bayley's head. It protects both guys. It builds up a possible Kane-Strowman match. Maybe next week, because we thought the match was going to be at Survivor Series. But with Braun on Team Raw, likely not going to happen there. So, that's that. So on with our next matchup. A big surprise. We saw Enzo Amore come out. That's not a surprise though. And he came out talking about how he beat up Kalisto on 205 Live. The only match to not be brand against brand is for the Cruiserweight title. Enzo against Kalisto. Last year, Sin Cara, who sadly got hurt recently during a house show, he had a little push going on with Baron Corbin might be dead in the water after his injury over the weekend. He ran for the Cruiserweight title last year. But now this year, his former Lucha Dragon partner will once again go for the Cruiserweight Gold. So as Enzo, with his full voice back, and without Drew Gulak, we miss Gulak! Anyway, he was talking down Kalisto about beating him up again in Survivor Series. He's already assuming he's going to win. And then Kalisto came out to watch Enzo compete in his match against the UK champion, the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne. So we had the Cruiserweight against the Bruiserweight. Great combination. Crowd went nuts. I think they were supposed to play Angle's music before they played Pete's music, because Angle came out to Pete Dunne's music before introducing him. I think they pulled the trigger too early and played Dunne's music when they were supposed to play Angle's music to introduce Dunne. Mess up, but hey. I love Pete Dunne. He's probably one of my favorite UK guys. There's a lot of great UK guys in that tournament. I loved him. Tyler Bate, Man Juice, not just because I remember them from TNA a little bit. So, Enzo's limited ability hindered it, but hey, Pete Dunne carried the match, destroying Enzo. Enzo had no chance. Got punched to hell. An okay little matchup that led him out, leading up to the bitter end. Figuratively and literally in the victory for Pete Dunne. It's kind of interesting. A champion winning. You had a non-title match. Miz losing by DQ. But they had Enzo pinned by Pete Dunne. At least, hey, for UK crowd. And the UK division will be on 205 Live tomorrow night. That's kind of cool. Hopefully the UK fans aren't dead for it this time with their guys invited to 205 Live. Be great. Crowd will actually pop for 205 Live for once. And many people will actually watch it for once with the British guys on it because you don't see them a lot. And they're great guys. They had some of the best matches this year, especially the UK Championship Tournament. But more importantly, Tyler Bate against Pete Dunne was probably right now my top 5 favorite matches of the year for 2017. Probably next to any match of Okada Omega, Naito against Ibushi, and Naito and Omega. Some of my best matches thus far, my favorites, heading towards the end of the year. And also, Usos New Day is probably in my top 5. Not just because I was there live, it was an amazing Hell in a Cell match. But not to count out the Raw Tag Team matches. They've been great lately too, especially in series of matches with The Bar and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. So we had our main event being another opportunity for The Bar to get the tag team titles. They made an interesting point to Kurt Angle, saying that last week, Kurt Angle made The Miz and Alexa Bliss put up their titles to see who was going to represent Raw, wanting the best of the best to represent Raw in the champion versus champions matches. And they were like, why didn't Dean and Rollins defend their titles? And they defended them tonight. That is a good point. If you're going to have all your Raw champions defending their titles before Survivor Series, why didn't Lesnar? I know he's got a limited schedule, but damn it. Lesnar needed to defend his title. But hey, he's fucking Lesnar. Anyway, on to the main event. These two have had great matches in the past, whether it was a SummerSlam match, the No Mercy match, and now this match. And it was another good one. It was like the ending was convoluted, but hey, big purpose. Big purpose, probably. So, great back and forth action once again. The crowd was into it. Both these nails are big moves. I love the mini super kick ball that Rollins did. And Sheamus and Ziggler, who came out taunting the Manchester fans by wearing a football soccer jersey for Liverpool, a rival of Manchester United. I don't watch soccer, so I don't know that stuff. Hey, stereotypically Americans don't watch soccer. But there's some who do watch soccer. And play it. I'm not one of those people. I watch wrestling. Anyway. Great back and forth action. Isolation game going on by the heels. Great double teaming from both teams. They were just putting on another clinic of a matchup. There were some great close finishes. Cesaro and Sheamus did like a double team. Kept it close. I thought that was it. And then Rollins and Ambrose did another double team. I thought that was it. They were like dirty deeds. I thought that like they were doing like a little double team with Rollins taking out a guy with a clothesline and a dirty deeds from Ambrose. I thought that was it. And in the middle of the match, as the match was really heating up, all of a sudden, you hear, "Or Manchester!" The familiar voice of Biggie as the New Day would invade Raw. Coming down from the crowd, kind of like what happened when SmackDown put Raw under siege a couple weeks back. Assuming that it was another under siege, Angle got all the troops together. Well, the New Day was spinning their promo out. The match was still going on. The ref didn't fall the match because New Day never got in the ring. So as they were saying about how Raw is not retaliating against SmackDown for the Under Siege and teasing another Under Siege, baby. The Raw roster came down, waiting this time for the Under Siege. You had the club out there, Joe, women were out there. But then New Day skirted out saying, "Got your ass!" Basically, fooled them. But that distraction was enough to remind us that the tag team title match was, like I said, still going on. Rollins got blindsided by a broken out of nowhere from Sheamus in the 1-2-3 victory. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Sheamus and Cesaro are once again your Raw Tag Team Champions, robbing us of one of the only matches we were kind of looking forward to of Survivor Series of the champion versus champion matches. The Usos against Rollins and Ambrose. The only good against bad team on the card, because the other matches, the other champ versus champ matches will heel against heel. Now the tag team champ against champ match will be heel against heel. WWE likes to do that for you. Tease a possible match for Survivor Series, then rob us for it by giving us something we don't want. Last year we wanted Ziggler and Zayn in an interpromotional title match. We're not getting those this time. We're not getting any interpromotional title matches. And Enzo did brag, and he is correct. He is the only champion actually defending his title at the pay-per-view against Kalisto, the only non-interpromotional match on the card. But we are surprised we're not getting interpromotional title matches this year, like we did last year. We were hoping for Zayn and Ziggler, but it was ended up being Zayn and Miz. But hey, a lot of people make us think we're going to get some matches, and they get canceled. Like the one match, like a lot of people, or should I say the two people, my uncle and my cousin, who watches TNA, were looking forward to Rosemary against this Lucha chick. I don't watch TNA anymore. I only watch Ring of Honor, New Japan, and WWE. She got taken out for personal reasons. That was like the only match everyone was looking forward to on that card. But replacing Rollins and Ambrose with Sheamus and Cesaro is almost as bad as replacing Roman Reigns with Kurt Angle. Wait a minute, that actually happened. So that's a little bit, like I said, good news and bad news. Bad news is we're not going to get Usos against Rollins and Ambrose. Damn. That was, like I said, that would have been an awesome match. But there is the good news, the silver lining. We may get another match we didn't even think it was remotely possible to happen. I said, thanks to their involvement tonight, and with the news that Roman Reigns has been cleared, as we know of, and will be on Raw next week, Shield against New Day. Yay! Should have more time to build, but having Roman Reigns sick, you gotta go with what you got. Even minimal build. Hey, like I said earlier, AJ Styles proved that even with no build, you can still have a good match. With AJ and Finn, if you have enough people clamoring for it, with no build or story at all, they can still have a good match and people will still be into it. Same with this. Two of the biggest factions in recent WWE memory, the New Day against the Shield. Yes, we're not getting Usos against Rollins and Ambrose. Yes, we're getting Jason Jordan instead of Reigns in the traditional Survivor Series match. But the silver lining is we're getting a match, as I mentioned, that we did not think was remotely possible. New Day against the Shield. Hopefully they pull that trigger next week, and it's looking like it's going to happen. There's a seed planted with the New Day rooting the tag team title main event that could lead to this match taking place. Stay tuned, people. And that is it for my Raw review this evening. Thank you so much for watching. With that 90 minutes act by the review from Zach. See you later. Bye-bye.